Trying to understand why all these people be sitting up here trying to tell black Americans we ain't got no power. What are y'all talking about? We are the most powerful people in this country. Do y'all understand that these people are single-handedly destroying themselves because they are dead set on destroying black American people? I mean, honestly and truthfully, they are fucking this country up and fucking themselves up, which is perfectly fine because I already said until y'all do right by us and we get them reparations, y'all won't have no country for us. So, but anywho, if you don't believe me and you want me to explain it, this is why I keep saying all the time, y'all really need to study and look into Black American history because then you'll understand how we ended up here. Motherfuckers talking about some bring manufacturing back to America. They got rid of manufacturing because black Americans dominated their industry and black Americans started going on strike and asking for higher pay. So they shipped all the industries overseas just to not pay us. Now America can't even wipe its ass unless China sends them the tissue. Then, historically, college was free. College was free until black Americans started wanting to go to college. And once black Americans started wanting to go to college, that's when they decided they wanted to come up with something called tuition. And now everybody got to pay for education. And education keep going up and going up. And the price of education keep rising because black Americans started having higher participation in higher education. Multiple presidents have presented the idea of giving Americans universal health care, and them motherfuckers voted against it every single time just because they didn't want black people to have it. The only way that they would vote for universal health care is if it wasn't universal and only included them and not black American people. Now everybody sitting up here gotta make life decisions on if they should go to the ER or not, even though they see a bone sticking out of their goddamn leg. Then black Americans started coming up a little bit because once we started getting education and we started having more of us enter into the middle class, they wanted to make the middle class even more unobtainable. That's when the cost of living started rising. You can go ahead and track the shit and see. The cost of living started rising and rising and rising, but pay wasn't rising. And these employers and shit didn't even want to keep up with the shit. Now everybody's struggling. Then we had to deal with redlining, right? Where they was intentionally trying to keep black Americans out of neighborhoods and shit. They didn't even want to give us home loans and was doing all that redlining and shit, right? So once black Americans could afford to live into these nicer areas, these landlords and shit started raising the prices of that shit just so that black Americans couldn't afford to rent or lease their house. Don't y'all come on this bitch and start lying and saying, no, that's not what we did. That is exactly what the fuck y'all asses was goddamn doing. Y'all asses was making sure that black Americans could not afford to live in them goddamn areas and shit. So you kept making the areas more and more expensive to live in. That's also why y'all started them goddamn HOAs. Y'all also was gatekeeping good education in good school districts. That's also why y'all made them neighborhoods more and more unaffordable. You didn't want black students getting a quality education. Then to undercut black Americans, because black Americans was in the middle of a strike. We was just coming off the tail end of the civil rights movement. Y'all decided to import all them goddamn immigrants and shit who accept lower pay than Americans do. And now them motherfuckers is making it difficult for black and white people to get a goddamn job. Because why I'm going to sit up here and answer y'all damn requests for $25 an hour when there's a motherfucker over there that'll take this damn job for $10.50 an hour. Exploitation and finding the cheapest labor possible has always been the American way. That's why America was built off of slavery, free labor. And y'all asses running around here crying about the quality of school lunch and free lunch. Michelle Obama tried to fix that problem for y'all, but y'all decided to just go ahead and portray her as a monkey and a gorilla and all kinds of other stereotypes and shit, laughing and kikiing it up. Now your kids hungry and shit in school, and people in there feeding them chicken nuggets and goddamn french fries instead of the healthy meals that y'all want. And then y'all go in the polls and vote against the goddamn SNAP assistance and food stamps that y'all knew that majority of y'all was getting in the first goddamn place. Not to mention the fact that y'all voted against DEI and affirmative action because one group of people didn't know that they were a part of affirmative action and fucked around and found out, and then they goddamn college admission started dropping, and then white women started getting fired left and goddamn right as soon as they removed DEI because them motherfuckers ain't know that they was DEI. Not to mention the fact that people voted they goddamn selves out the country, worrying about us and thinking that we would be sent back to Africa. Damn shame. Then we could have been living in the future looking like goddamn China. Y'all went y'all asses over there to Red Nose started goddamn crying when y'all seen how advanced they were. But they got 54 ethnicities, and they don't ban any of those 54 ethnicities from participating in any industry at all, unlike y'all, which stunted the growth and innovation of America because you got all these brilliant people, but y'all won't put them in positions to be brilliant because you're racist. Okay? Black Americans got all the power in the world because as long as these motherfuckers is racist, they're going to continue to destroy themselves. We don't have to do shit. They taking their goddamn selves out. If that ain't power, I don't know what is. Also, because life has gotten so expensive, them motherfuckers can't even afford to have kids, so now they dying out and going crazy because they don't know what the fuck to do with their population numbers. Okay? Who runs this bitch? We run this bitch. Who run this bitch? We run this bitch by tearing their ass up with their own racism towards us. Have a good day.